Namaskar. Let us see The Adventures of Toto by Ruskin Bond. Writer is the speaker in this story. In other words, writer is the one who is narrating the story. The writer speaks of the adventures of Toto, the monkey whom the grandfather happens to see on a journey with a Tonga driver. Grandfather felt very sympathetic to Toto, the monkey, when he saw it tied to a feeding trough. Grandfather at his house at Dehradun had a zoo. He loved animals. He found Toto very interesting. He found his hands very dry, but they were very quick to perform any work. Grandfather decided to purchase Toto from the Tonga driver. He gave 5 rupees and got him. Grandfather found the tale of Toto very interesting. He had his own ideas about tale. He goes on to say that every individual should have tail. It could act as third hand. It can serve in getting things which are out of the reach of the hand, as it is flexible and the range of movement is more than that of a hand. In grandfather's term, it could scoop up any delicacy. Toto could use the tail to swiftly move from one branch to another branch while moving on a tree. Grandfather's love for animal was always fussed or mocked or laughed at by grandmother. Grandfather knew that he had to place the matter of Toto in grandmother's ears when she is in a good mood. He was a learned man, very experienced. He knew it was difficult to survive in the house without the support of the loved ones. He valued grandmother's opinion and he required grandmother's support. His love for Toto was also high, so he could not take chances. He decided to keep the arrival of Toto in house a secret till he finds the day when he is 100% convinced that the grandmother is in good mood. Grandfather and the writer, that is his grandson, had a conversation in relation to the matter of hiding Toto. The grandson came out with the idea of hiding Toto in a little closet opening into his bedroom wall. Closet is very much similar to wardrobe. There was a peg to which Toto could be tied. Peg is a hook. They expected Toto to be a good boy and they felt Toto would be behaving good and they left him alone. After few hours, when they returned, contrary to the expectations, Toto had dismantled or distorted or damaged the equipment. He had uncovered the brick and plaster which was concealed or covered with ornamental paper. Writer's blazer was also torn to pieces. The peg had come out. Toto was very clever and intelligent. grandfather went on to say, had Toto been given some more time, he would have made his grandson's coat or the blazer into a robe, and he would have made his escape through the window. It was decided to place Toto in servant's room. Their grandfather had placed many other animals, and they were taken care by servants who were there. Toto could not control his mischievous attitude. At night, he disturbed all the animals which were there. In grandfather's mini zoo, there was a tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a squirrel, and a goat. All the animals were fed up of Toto. They could not handle the way he behaved. He made noise in night and they could not sleep. Grandfather had to collect his pension from Saharanpur, which was a little far from Dehradun where he lived. Grandfather had no option but to take Toto along with him. The grandson, that is the writer, could not accompany grandfather. After returning home, grandfather shared what Toto had done and what had happened at Saharanpur railway station to his grandson. That is the writer. At Dehradun railway station, Toto was trying to get himself free from the black canvas kit bag in which he was carried. With his attempt to get free, the bag sometimes rolled and jumped. People were staring at the movement of the bag. They may have considered it as a ghost too. The bag was strong to break apart by Toto's attempt. Bag sometimes jumped, sometimes rolled. It started moving and people were staring at it. At Saharanpur railway station, at the railway turnstile is a mechanical revolving gate which lets in only one person at a time. The ticket collector stopped grandfather and asked for his ticket. During the period of checking the ticket, Toto poked his head out of the bag and the ticket collector called it a dog. For ticket collector, Toto looked like a dog. And he asked grandfather to pay 3 rupees as ticket fare for Toto. Grandfather was annoyed. Annoyed means very angry. He was not happy with ticket collector's behavior. He did not like Toto being called a dog. According to grandfather, Toto did not qualify to be called a quadruped. Quadruped is an animal, especially a mammal, which walks on 4 legs. He took out the tortoise from his pocket and asked the ticket collector to make a ticket for it too. After inspecting the tortoise, ticket collector remarked, "It is not a dog, so it doesn't qualify it to the category to be charged a ticket." Grandmother agreed to give Toto a comfortable home in the stable. Grandfather was delighted at grandmother's agreement. There, Toto had a companion. That is, in stable, Toto had a companion. It was a donkey. They called the donkey Nana. Toto and Nana had to stay together in the stable. That night, grandfather went to the stable to check how Toto was behaving in the stable. To his surprise, he found the Nana, the donkey, trying to keep its head as far as possible from the bundle of hay. Grandfather slapped Nana, to which it reacted by moving its head. Grandfather saw Toto holding on Nana's ear with his teeth. Nana never liked Toto. Every time he happens to see Toto, he remembers that Toto had bit his ears badly. Toto was mischievous. He saw fun in disturbing and irritating others. Grandmother was very considerate to provide Toto hot water on winter days. He would replicate or mimic what the writer used to do before taking bath. He would test it first by touching it with his hand and later with his foot. After finding it good to take bath, he would get immersed into it. He loved to take bath in hot water. He used to use soap to the extent that he is immersed in the foam. He loved being completely covered with foam. He did not like to take bath in cold water. When hot water turned cold, he would go to the kitchen. In kitchen, he will get himself warm from kitchen fire. He enjoyed being warm and he dreaded being in cold climate. To have free and flexible movement, one needs to keep the body warm. Toto knew it and Toto did it. Toto's habit of sitting close to the kitchen fire got him into trouble. One day, grandmother had kept a kitchen kettle to boil. It was filled with water to prepare tea. Kitchen kettle had a lid. Toto removed it, tested the warmth of water, then he got into it and started having bath. Had grandmother not come on that day, Toto would have got cooked. When writer's aunt made a visit to his house, Toto could not restrict himself from pulling and tearing her skirt. He was very mischievous. Toto's mischievous nature started taking its height. One day, he was caught eating pulao by grandmother. Pulao was kept on the dining table. Grandmother had become very angry. Seeing grandmother's reaction, Toto threw a plate at her. Then an aunt rushed. Seeing Toto's reaction, he threw a glass of water at her. Grandmother was very angry. Toto had made the dining area a mess. He had littered the things over there. By the time grandfather arrived, Toto had made it his escape through the window. He climbed on the jackfruit tree Toto then had the delicious pulao made by grandmother. When grandmother came out of the house searching Toto, Toto started irritating her by swinging on the branches and carrying the pulao plate with him. He threw the plate down and it broke into 1,000 pieces. Grandfather was finding hard to keep Toto in the house. Toto used to break or tear things. Grandfather could not afford that, and he decided to find the Tonga driver and sell Toto back. Grandfather sold Toto for 3 rupees to Tonga driver. One of the interesting thing about this story is that story starts with the purchase of Toto and ends with Toto being sold to the same man, that is Tonga driver. Thank you for listening to this wonderful story. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.